Hey guys, it's me, copying Jarvis Johnson, episode 78. But in my defense, so I made this video talking about share my story, and I'm making another one, this time with the other video I was talking about. Now you might be asking, why are we all wearing blankets on our heads? Well, I had this really bad haircut, so I put it on my head and they just kind of copied it.
Yeah, it looks good on me.
Are you sure about that?
And I'm here with Illuminator. Whatever. And this is just a random kid we found on the street.
Wait, what the? This isn't even your house, boy.
And that's correct. We're not at my house. We're actually at his house.
Yeah. Because I'm his BF.
Because his Josh. That makes sense. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So we are all gonna react to this very disturbing video, and this one is. Which one is it?
How I got my stepmom pregnant.
Yeah, that. Now, you might know that in my actually happened video, I also covered stories about incest. So
Incest.
My dad's a total jerk and not even good looking. So how come he was able to marry Lexi, a stunning model who's been on the cover of Vogue and date?
Wait, hold on. What did that one magazine say?
My dad's.
It just says sexy.
Oh my god.
Hot chick, hot issue.
Oh, by the way, we all have swivel chairs, except we couldn't have a third one. So sorry, Austin, you're sitting on the floor.
And dated several famous football players. Well, we live in South America, and my dad made lots of money.
He doesn't sound from South America. You can't even.
His face is like.
Money taking backhanders. Yeah, he was a corrupt politician who was giving government contracts to whoever paid the biggest bribe. That's why we lived in an enormous mansion, even though his government salary was less than $50,000 per year.
I have no idea what that means. So,
If one of you do.
No, God! How do I know all this? Well, my dad told me. He even tried to recruit me. He said I'd make lots of money. But I refused and told him that millions of people were living in poverty because of corrupt politicians like him.
I am going to remind you in advance that I am very sorry and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving a fuck what you think.
I refuse because I want to be a good person, unlike him. Feel bad for me.
I would have accepted it so I can donate money to the poor. I mean, what the frick? Why didn't he think of that? This is how you know. This is fake.
You don't fucking say, you bastard!
Him. Of course, he got angry and yelled at me.
What is this?
Him. Of course, he got angry and yelled at me to be grateful for everything he'd bought for me. I didn't care.
Wait. I'm sorry, what? He bought you a purse? Okay, so your dad bought you a purse and a Starbucks
Oh
and a Starbucks
my
milk.
god, Starbucks.
Oh my
Starbucks is my life.
Austin, you might want to like scoot over a little bit. You're not in frame.
Yeah, you're not really in frame. I can just see your eyes. You might want to get up a bit.
Or we could like lower our chairs.
No, it's alright.
There you go. Alright.
Okay, can someone actually lean on my chair so it can go down? Push on it.
Where's the button?
I have it down. Can you just push on my chair?
Hey,
Why
Austin,
are you not heavy enough?
can you help me with this?
Because I only weigh about 67 pounds.
Alright, let's get
Care though. And the real victim was Lexi anyway. After she got married to
nag.
The father is just like,
Austin, can you stand up a little bit? We can't see it. There we go.
my dad, he treated her horribly. He'd make her dress in revealing maid costumes,
Revealing?
and ordered her to cook for him or clean the living room while he watched. He seemed to get a kick out of having power over her. Okay.
You better stop!
Maybe you think Lexi deserved it. I mean, she only married Dad for his money.
Gold digger!
But she always seemed so sad. One day, I found Lexi crying. I asked what was wrong, and she told me my dad had screamed at her for hours and said he'd kick her out if she annoyed him again. I said I was sorry for how my dad was treating her, but suddenly she pushed me back, straddled me, and started kissing me all over. She whispered, "Show me how a real man treats a woman."
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
Nope, bye. See ya. This video's over. Nope, see ya. Okay, I guess.
That don't look right. This don't look right at all. This don't look right at all.
You don't fucking say, you bastard!
I guess I have to do it. You know.
Woman. I should have walked away, but I was only 18. Having a gorgeous model come on to me was the best thing that had ever happened to me.
A minute ago, he was like, "I'm the good guy. Feel bad for Austin."
As we were making out, I heard my dad walking towards the room. Lexi laughed and told me I had lipstick all over my face. I panicked and jumped behind the couch to hide.
Guys, look how hidden he is.
Dad came in and sat next to Lexi, saying, "I've got a business trip this weekend. There'll be plenty of security guards around to keep an eye on you, and they'll notify me if you try to go anywhere. I recommend you don't make another mistake. Now give me a kiss." Ugh, I wanted to throw up. Was my dad kissing the same woman I'd made out with 2 minutes earlier? Gross!
What?
Yes, he was.
Gross! Gross. But after he left, Lexi and I started kissing again. It was such a rush because I knew it was wrong, and I'd never even held a girl's hand before, and now I was making out with a supermodel. You'd have done the same if you were me.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's incest. Stupid. Hi, I'm Damon, the editor, but you knew that. And it turns out this video is long, like really long, like 40 minutes long. So I'm gonna just skip to the good parts. So basically they start having their affair, and then the mom gets pregnant, and the kid tells the dad that the baby isn't his, and then the guy gets angry, and then the guy says that if he doesn't let him and his mom leave, then they're gonna like expose him or something. So he gives him like a couple $1 million for it, and then like he needs more money because Lexi spent all that money to freaking gold digger right there, and so he goes back for more money, and then he comes back and Lexi's still being a gold digger. Like they move into a different apartment, a bigger apartment, it's more expensive or something, and then he has to go back for more money, but he tells him that if he comes back for money again, there'll be consequences, and then he has to go back for money again because again Lexi's a fucking gold digger, and there was consequences that he went to go pick up his daughter from the preschool or something, and they told him that mom picked him up and that he tells him that his kid will go far away and he will only visit him like once a year. So shoot. Crap. What happened next? Oh yeah, so he thinks of a plan to get him to not be only seeing him once a year, to see him all the time. So he murders his dad. Yeah, he murders his dad. I'm actually gonna include that clip right now. Had nothing to do with him.
Yeah, I seen the brown hair of yours.
Wink, wink.
But
Wow, what a good clip, guys. Am I right? So then, then he inherits all his money. Only gives Lexi like 15,000 or something. And that's the end of the story. How I got pregnant by a billionaire.
I know what you're thinking, that I'm a gold digger.
Yes.
Hear me out. Like most girls, I spend a lot of time on Instagram. You know how most people use it to brag about their life? Well, one day, I saw a post from one of those rich kids. His dad was a well-known billionaire in the telecommunications business. But this kid was living in the same city as me. I got curious and did a little research.
Why? Curious about what?
Gold digger.
I discovered that he had two hobbies, partying and fishing. And I found out that he often went fishing at a certain lake just 2 hours away from my home. I bought myself some fishing gear and went there every day for weeks.
Sounds pretty stalkerish. Should we report her to the police?
Maybe.
I'm talking to Austin. Austin, should we report her to the police? Great talk.
I was about to give up when I finally saw him. He was out on the little lake in a small boat. I waved at him and he waved back. I yelled, "Can I come in your boat?" He didn't respond, but changed directions and rowed towards me. He said, "Hey, how are you?" I told him, "I'm just out here enjoying nature. I was hoping to do some fishing." Of course, that was complete baloney, but he invited me onto his boat. We talked for hours. Everything I said were lies. Like, I told him I'd wandered around Yellowstone Park for 2 weeks.
Wait, hold on. I just gotta...
Wait. You believe this ugly face? She
Exactly.
just has pupils.
Exactly.
And her eyes are weird.
Exactly. I don't know why she thinks that all that and like she's like hot. But she is probably the most ugliest cartoon character I've ever seen.
He believed every word, and even told me, "Wow, you're so impressive. Have you ever seen a bear?" I responded, "Yeah, a couple of times. And once I was in my tent and a pack of wolves started circling around it. I had my pepper spray ready, but luckily, they went away again."
What I did, I just played a little card called
I do this so I can get your life and steal all of your money.
Again. You see, he was happy to talk about nature because he was so passionate about it. After a long conversation, we exchanged numbers and went our separate ways. But the next week...
1 week later...
That was from SpongeBob.
You don't fucking say, you bastard!
We met at the lake again. This time, I'd prepared several other fake stories about how I'd been salmon fishing in Canada. I don't normally lie.
I don't normally lie unless it benefits me. I swear I'm not a gold digger, guys.
But it can actually be a lot of fun. To be fair, though, he wasn't the smartest tool in the shed. I mean, I wasn't a good liar. He was just naive. But I wanted to take it a bit further. So we had a picnic on the grass. No one was around, and after a while I asked him, "Do you like me?" He said, "Sure." But I responded, "No. I mean, do you find me attractive?"
Who asks anyone that? I'm just going to pat his head. You are very far back. Come on.
I don't think he wants to. I think he just wants to like die right now.
He didn't answer right away, but then he said, "I guess so." That was good enough, and I leaned over to kiss him. He didn't stop it. After all, I'm okay looking. We met.
Are you sure about that?
Okay.
We met each other a few more times at his big mansion, and I always made sure he was enjoying it. Until I got pregnant by accident. You may think I'm a terrible person now, but the truth is both of us are.
Why is him there?
Why does he have crab hands?
You don't know who him is, do you?
He's Satan.
He's no prize. In fact, he's one of the most useless people I've ever met. He hardly ever goes to school and never works. He just takes money from his rich dad and spends it on stupid stuff.
Spends it on stupid stuff.
Like you?
stuff. I haven't confronted him about the baby yet, but according to the laws in my state, he will have to pay me a lot in child support. I'm talking about millions of dollars. Of course, I don't know how much money he has right now, but his dad is already in his 80s. Once his dad dies, he will inherit billions, and my kid and I will get some of it. To be honest, I know I'll make far better use of the money than that worthless bum ever will.
I will make far better use of the money by going on Craigslist and hiring people to have sex with me. I swear I'm not a gold digger, guys.
Or will.
Alright, so that was Share My Story. Austin, do you have any last words for the good people at home?